When we talk about AI data centers, our minds usually jump to the incredible tech or the insane amount of power they use. But what about the stuff that's a lot harder to see? The things that affect the air we breathe, the noise in our neighborhoods, and the health of the communities these centers move into. Well, today we're pulling back the curtain on those environmental and public health consequences. All right, so to be clear, this is part 4 of our deep dive into a really comprehensive research report. It's called Conducting an AI Data Center Community Impact Assessment, and it comes from the Colorado-based research firm Virtualization Options LLC. We're zeroing in on what their research uncovered about the direct environmental and health impacts. So here's our game plan. First, we're going to uncover the physical impacts. The stuff you can literally hear, feel, and breathe. Then we'll get into a really important question. Who's actually shouldering the burden of all this? And finally, we'll look at the tools that communities can actually use to hold these companies accountable. Okay, let's kick things off with the immediate physical footprint of a data center. Because these aren't just quiet, static buildings. No, they actively change the local environment around them in ways you might not notice until you're living right next door. This is really the core question that communities have to start asking. Because the impact doesn't just stop at the fence. It travels through the air, it spreads across neighborhoods, and it can affect people's daily lives in some pretty wild ways. Let's start with the first one, noise. Now, this is fascinating because it points out a huge blind spot. See, data centers have this constant low-frequency hum from their giant cooling systems. And sure, the operators will show you a model that says the noise is fine at their property line. But what the source report highlights is that on a cool, calm night, a weather event called a temperature inversion can actually trap that sound and act like a speaker, carrying it way, way deeper into residential areas, messing with sleep and just general peace and quiet. And it's not just noise we're talking about. It's heat. All of that computing power generates a staggering amount of waste heat. I mean, we're talking tens, sometimes hundreds of megawatts. To give you some perspective, a large AI facility is basically like a small power plant running in reverse, just pumping out enormous amounts of heat instead of electricity. So what happens to all that heat? Well, it creates these things called thermal plumes. And according to the research, some communities have actually reported temperature spikes of 3 to 5 degrees Fahrenheit in the residential blocks right next to these facilities. That's enough to mess with your sleep, make your air conditioning bills go up, and create a permanent heat island right in your neighborhood. Okay, let's talk air quality. Now, you might think, no smokestacks, no problem, right? Well, not exactly. Data centers are still sources of air pollution. The diesel backup generators, which they have to test all the time, they pump out nitrogen oxides and particulate matter. Then you add in emissions from fuel storage, the chemicals used for cooling, and all the truck and employee traffic. It really starts to add up, especially for the most vulnerable people, like kids and the elderly. So we've kind of established the what, the noise, the heat, the pollution. But that brings us to an even bigger question. Who is actually dealing with these impacts? Because this isn't just a technical issue, it's a social one. The guiding idea here is something called environmental justice. And at its core, it's a pretty simple principle. The negative side effects of industrial development shouldn't all be dumped on communities that don't have the political power or the resources to push back. It's really about making sure everyone gets a fair shot at having a safe and healthy place to live. So how do we actually make that happen? The report lays out 3 absolutely critical steps. First up, you have to map what's already there. You can't just look at the data center by itself. You have to look at the total burden on the community. Second, do an equity analysis. Are these impacts hitting low-income neighborhoods or communities of color harder than others? And third, and this is the big one, you have to ensure authentic engagement, which is so much more than just a simple town hall meeting. Which brings us to our final section. Look, knowing about all these impacts is one thing, but being able to do something about them is something else entirely. The research gives us a really clear set of tools that communities can use to demand protection and to hold these data center operators accountable. So here's the bottom line. Promises are not enough. If you want accountability, you need data. The report is adamant about these monitoring requirements. We're not talking about one-time studies. We're talking continuous air quality monitoring, right where people live. Real-time emissions reports every single time those diesel generators kick on. And maybe most important of all, enforceable limits with actual, painful financial penalties for breaking the rules. These things should be completely non-negotiable. And this really just hits the nail on the head. It shows the difference between being heard and actually being listened to. That standard check-the-box public hearing, the report says that just doesn't cut it. Meaningful engagement means developers and city officials have to proactively go to the affected communities, provide them with resources to understand what's being proposed, and, this is key, give what the community has to say substantial weight in the final decision. Which leaves us with this final critical question. The power a community has to protect its own health and environment, it's often buried in the details that get negotiated before a single shovel ever hits the ground. It's not just about the promise of jobs. It's about asking the hard questions about real, enforceable, long-term protections. Because once that deal is signed, it's almost always too late.